Hello guys and welcome back to Excelsior Academy. So again I'm here back with the lecture 9th for genome structure, chromatid and the nucleosome. मैं जानती हूँ ये चैप्टर बहुत बड़ा है, so that's why it is taking number of lectures in order to complete this chapter, and इसके बाद हम चालू करेंगे अपना replication and the other important topics which is required for the mole biome. So let's continue with this. So in the last lectures, we talked about the histones and the nucleosomes. Now we're going to talk about how exactly these histones will bind the different characteristic regions of the DNA inside the nucleosome. Okay, so this is your three-dimensional structure of a nucleosome. And see, this is the cartoon. So what they're showing is the how exactly the DNA is wrapping. Okay, so three views has been taken, upper and back and the side ones, and this has been compared with the clock. So you can see this one over here. So we say that this is the entry point of the DNA and the exit point. So by this time, it is making actually a 2 times wrapping around the nucleosomes. Okay. Then this is the side views. Here also you can see how beautifully it is entering, and then here it is exiting. And this is the back view. So here again the entry, and here it is the exit. Okay, so this is just for the understanding of you. It has been compared with the clock. Okay. Now, what are those regions and how many base pairs are involved? So that is what we are going to learn here. So you can see that H3 and H4 binds the middle 60 base pair and the ends of the DNA, which is in the turquoise color. Okay, so you can see this area. So this area is actually interacting with the 60 base pair. And H2A, H2B binds this area. It's binding 30 base pair of DNA on the one side of the nucleosome that is given in the orange. Okay, this portion they have given over here. So this is around 30 base pair. So this is what. So actually what we have always talked about, that nucleosome, sorry. So whenever it is like this, entry and exit is there. Of this 147 base pair is there. So of this 147 base pair, 60 base pair is the H3, H4 which is interacting. Okay. And the other around 30 base pair is there where H2A and H2B are interacting. Okay. Yeah. So the amino-terminal region of H3, most proximal to the histone fold, forms a fourth helix and interacts with the final 30 base pair at each end of the DNA bound. So totally around 60, 30, and then 13 base pairs are directly bound with the histones involved in the nucleosomes. Okay. Now, what if the nucleosome is lacking the H2A and H2B? What will happen? So if you remember in the nucleosome assembly, we talked about that first H3 and H4 tetramer forms, right? And to this tetramer, your DNA comes and binds, and after that, your H2A and H2B comes, right? Now, what if this portion is not there? So what will happen? So H2A, H2B histones have been artificially removed from this view of the nucleosome. So this is actually a crystal structure which in the previous lecture I have shown. So in this case, there is no H2A and H2B. Okay. Now this structure is resembling to the DNA H3 to H4 to tetramer intermediate in the assembly of the nucleosome, which we have already discussed in the previous lecture. Okay. So guys, if it is not clear, please go back to the previous lecture, lecture 8, and go through how exactly the nucleosome is assembled. Now, the extensive interaction between the H3H4 tetramer and the DNA will help, okay, to explain the ordered assembly of the nucleosome. Now, what is happening? H3H4 tetramer association with the middle ends of the bound DNA would result in the DNA being bent and constrained. And this is actually helping to make the association with the H2A, H2B dimers relatively easy. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? See, जब your H3 and H4, okay, twice, this is nothing but your tetramer. Now, when this tetramer is bound by the DNA, okay, what is happening? So the interactions between the DNA and the H3, H4 resulted in bending of the DNA in such a way that it is actually making association for the H2A and H2B. ठीक है, तो पहले टेट्रामर आया आपका, टेट्रामर के ऊपर डीएनए आया, जब इन दोनों का इंटरेक्शन हुआ उसके वजह से जगह बनी एंड H2A H2B के साथ बॉन्डिंग पॉसिबल हो पाई. ठीक है, नाउ इन कॉन्ट्रास्ट, relatively short length of DNA bound by H2A H2B dimer is not sufficient to prepare the DNA for the H3H4 tetramer binding. Now what they're saying is that opposite is not true. If suppose you had H2A and H2B dimers, ठीक है, तो ये भी पूरे 4 हो गए. Now when this is bound by DNA, it is not possible for them to make associations for H3 and H4 tetramer. ओके, सो इससे हमें समझ में क्या आता है, दैट फॉर द न्यूक्लियोसोम असेंबली देयर इज अ ऑर्डर्ड पैटर्न, एंड अगर वो पैटर्न बिगड़ता है तो न्यूक्लियोसोम नहीं बनेगा. ठीक है, सो डीएनए वोंट बी एबल टू रैप अराउंड दिस न्यूक्लियोसोम. सो व्हाट इज द पैटर्न नाउ, पहला H3H4 टेट्रामर आएगा, उसके ऊपर डीएनए आएगा, एंड देन फाइनली इट इज गोइंग टू मेक एसोसिएशन विद द H2A H2B डाइमर्स. ठीक है, so I hope this slide is clear to everyone. This is really very important. Please remember, guys. Okay, so they are going to make so many associations or the interactions between the core histone proteins as well as with the DNA. So what are those interactions? So let's talk about those interactions. So there are 14 distinct sites, okay, or the contacts are observed, one for each time the minor groove of the DNA faces the histone octamer. Guys, this is really very important slide, please remember. So 14 sites hai jahan pe minor groove of DNA is actually facing the histone octamer. तो आप देखेंगे जब भी हम हिस्टोन्स बना रहे हैं, आपका डीएनए रैप हो रहा है, सो व्हेनेवर दिस डीएनए इज रैपिंग, माइनर ग्रूव जो है वो हिस्टोन्स की तरफ है. ठीक है, now the association of DNA with the nucleosome is mediated by large number of hydrogen bonds between the histones and the DNA, of course, right? So we are talking around about 40 hydrogen bonds. Okay, now the majority of these hydrogen bonds are between the proteins and the oxygen atoms in the phosphorester backbone near the minor groove of the DNA. Okay, so abhi tak humne kya padha, that there are the 14 contacts. ठीक है, and the association is between the minor groove of the DNA and the histone proteins. Okay, how many hydrogen bonds are formed? Around 40, and it is forming between the proteins and the oxygen from the phosphodiester bond. Okay, and that is which is present in the minor groove of the DNA. Now only 7 hydrogen bonds are made between the protein side chains and the bases of DNA. ठीक है, side chains and the bases of DNA, and everything again in the minor groove. Okay, so there are 40 hydrogen bonds, out of which only 7 hydrogen bonds are made between the side chains as well as the bases of DNA. बाकी सब कहाँ हो रहा है, backbone of the DNA के साथ. ठीक है, okay, so if you see this figure here, now to make it more clear, you can see that again and again it is a minor groove which is actually facing the side chains or the proteins of the histones. ठीक है, so that's why minor groove is important in the nucleosome interactions. Okay, yeah. Now डीएनए बेंड जो हो रहा है whenever it is interacting with the H3 and H4 tetramer, वो किस तरफ से हो रहा है. ठीक है, so that is what we are going to learn. So obviously DNA bending is possible जब भी हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड is formed between the DNA and the protein. तो जब जब इनके बीच में हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स बन रहा है, डीएनए आपका उतना बेंड होता जाएगा, and this bending is important. Why? Because later H2A and H2B is going to get associated. Okay, so the large number of these hydrogen bonds, okay, so they are going to be sequence specific, around 20 hydrogen bonds. They provide the driving force to bend the DNA. So now we know that DNA bending is because of the hydrogen bonds which is formed between the DNA, plus histones. Okay, of course the proteins. So the highly basic nature of the histones, we know that it is because of the arginine and lysine. further facilitates the DNA bending by masking the negative charge of the phosphates, which is actually resists the DNA bending. Very good, yes. And this is because when DNA is bent, the phosphates on the inside of the bend are brought into the unfavorable close proximity. So इससे क्या हो रहा है? So whenever you're actually bending the DNA, what happens? The phosphate backbone, which is having the negative charge, will repel. Since it is associated with the basic charge amino acids is present in the histones, it is possible. The positively charged nature of the histones, it will facilitate the close juxtaposition of the two adjacent DNA helices necessary to wrap the DNA more than once around the histone octamer. So मैं यही आपको बता रही थी that हमारे पास histones हैं and इसके ऊपर 2 बार DNA wrap करता है, ठीक है? So this is only possible 2 times and without any repulsion because it is favored by the basic amino acids present in the histones. The finding that all of the sites of the contact between the histones and the DNA involve the minor groove or the phosphate backbone is consistent with the non-specific nature of the association of the histone octamer with DNA. इसका क्या मतलब हो रहा है कि minor groove or the backbone of the DNA is involved, but it is the interaction with the histones is non-specific, sequence specific. यानी कि किसी particular sequence की जरूरत नहीं है to make such interactions. Okay, so they are not rich in any base specific information. So here the sequence of DNA is not important. Okay. Now, the histone amino terminal is there, which actually stabilize the DNA wrapping around the octamer. So, last class हमने पढ़ा था that these amino terminals are present, and if suppose they are totally exposed, what will happen? Proteases will come and they will chop off. Okay. Now, but the another function is also there of this amino terminals. That is, they are going to stabilize the DNA wrapping around the octamer. Okay, and we also know that it is also site for post-translation modification like phosphorylation, acetylation, etc. Okay, so the 4H2A, the 4H2B, H3 tails emerge from between the two DNA helices. In each case, the path of exit is formed by two adjacent minor grooves. Guys, please remember from where exactly the tails are coming out. Okay? So H2B and H3 tails, iske do aur iske do. So total 4. Okay? So H2A, sorry, H2B, you can see it over here. And then we have got the H3. ये एक view दिया हुआ है, इसलिए आपको यहाँ पे दो ही दिख रहे हैं. And what you see is that they are emerging from the minor group. So these tails of H3 and H2B are emerging from the minor grooves. ठीक है, ये आपका एक DNA हो गया, ये आपका दूसरा DNA हो गया. And if you closely understand, you will see that from the minor groove, it is actually coming out. Now, the H2B, H3 tails emerge at approximately equal distance from each other. So the distance between is going to be the same. Similarly, on the other face also, यहाँ से and यहाँ से emerge out होंगे. ठीक है? Okay. Now, H2A and H4 amino terminals, they will emerge either from the above or below of the DNA helices. ठीक है? So आप देख सकते हैं ऊपर और या नीचे से evolve होंगे आपके H4 and H2A amino terminals. Okay. Now, this is also again important slide because you need to remember something about the DNA. So DNA negative superhelicity. So already in the previous lecture, we have talked about the DNA being negatively supercoiled. Okay. So now how this is going to favor the nucleosome formation. So that's what we are going to see now. Okay, so it is the wrapping of the DNA around the histone protein. It stores the negative superhelicity. So we know that DNA is actually covalently closed circular DNA, right? So it is going to be helical, supercoiled. So each nucleosome added to a covalently closed circular template changes the linking number of the DNA by -1.2. Okay? Okay, so we know that linking number is equal to Rith plus twist. Guys, you are supposed to remember your previous lectures. Okay, then only the coming lectures are going to be easy for you guys to understand. Okay. So because the remainder of the DNA is relaxed by the topoisomerase. So we know that there are two topoisomerase. Please remember their function. The DNA that is packaged into the nucleosome would become negatively supercoiled if nucleosomes are removed from the DNA. Okay. So we are saying that nucleosomes DNA में negative supercoil रखता है. Now, so hence nucleosomes are acting as the storing or stabilizing negative superhelicity of the DNA. Now, why would the cell would like to maintain the stockpile of negative? What is the importance of this? Now, this is important because in order to drive the unwinding of DNA in the cell, that is when your gene expression is required. It helps in the unwinding of DNA. ठीक है? So negative supercoiled DNA favors DNA unwinding, and now this DNA unwinding is required so that you can carry out gene expression like replication, transcription, etc. Thus, removal of a nucleosome not only allows increased access to the DNA, but it will also facilitate the unwinding of the nearby DNA sequences which is required for the gene expression. ठीक है? Now, nucleosomes तो store कर रहा है negative superhelicity in eukaryotes. What about the prokaryotes? So in the case of prokaryotes, we have got the another enzyme called gyrase. Okay, it is in few references, it is also mentioned as DNA gyrase. Now, this enzyme has the ability to introduce negative superhelicity into the relaxed DNA by again reducing the linking number. So, ये कैसे करता है? For an example, in the case of E. coli, it is going to reduce by minus 0.07 times. ठीक है? Now, the addition of this negative supercoils into the relaxed DNA is energy requiring. So, इसका मतलब क्या है? It is going to utilize ATP. Okay, so it means that in order to introduce negative supercoils, ATP is required. Okay, it is energy dependent reaction. Now, what if there is the absence of ATP? So, in the absence of ATP, gyrase can only relax. Relax मतलब क्या? Again, it is going to reduce the linking number by making it positively supercoiled. Now, all the bacteria need not to maintain this DNA in the negative supercoil. So, हर bacteria को जरूरत नहीं है negative supercoil रखने की. Only the bacteria which are growing at very high temperature, they require to keep the DNA at negative supercoil. Why? Because of the increase in the temperature or the high temperature, there is chances that DNA will get unwind or DNA will get denatured. So हमें पता है जैसे जैसे temperature बढ़ता है DNA unwind होना शुरू हो जाता है, right? So it is going to lose its property to remain as helix. So in order to prevent the action or the effect of the thermal denaturation on the DNA, these bacteria will have these negative supercoiled DNA. ठीक है? Now, so there are these organisms, they have different topoisomerases called reverse gyrase. So reverse gyrase का क्या काम है? It will increase the linking number of relaxed DNA. ठीक है? So by keeping the genome positively supercoiled, reverse gyrase counteracts the effect of thermal denaturation, and that would ordinarily result in many regions of the genome being unwound. So from this what we understand is that in the case of eukaryotes, you have got the nucleosomes in order to keep the negative supercoiled. Now, whereas in the case of bacteria like E. coli, you have got gyrase. Okay, in order to keep this negative supercoiled. But every time all the bacteria doesn't need to keep the DNA negatively supercoiled. Only the bacteria which are growing at higher temperature, they need. And for them, we have got the reverse gyrase. So I hope the entire 2-3 slides are clear to all of you. Okay. So that's all for today. And yeah, many more lectures are there in order to complete this chapter. So stay tuned with Excelsior Academy. So once this chapter gets over, we'll start with the DNA replication. So if you like the Watson series, please let me also know through your comments, because your comments are actually my moral support. So thank you guys for listening, and please share and subscribe with your friend circle.